The reason why Indians love Israel so much is because they see it as a prototype for their own Hindu nationalists rather, love Israel so much is because and there's a lot of those, probably like more than half of the people in India right now are Hindu nationalists. But the reason why they love Israel so much is specifically because they see in Israel like an example for their own project. You know, they see that Israel ethnically cleansed Palestinians. They see that they expelled them to their own little Bantustans, to the concentration camps, and they're continuously trying to occupy them more and more. And they're like, yep, we want to do that here. We want to do that here. You know, we see ourselves in Israel, so we support Israel. Same reason why Morocco and Israel have relatively good relations, because Morocco sees Israel, this settler colonial state, and they're like, well, that's exactly what we want to do in the Western Sahara. So, they have these sort of shared interests to, like, in general, vote together on stuff, to, like, oppose the same sort of international law initiatives that could put them in jeopardy, stuff like that. And they decide to be friends. And while Indian Hindu nationalists are very much not quite yet in that sort of stage of their desire to ethnically cleanse and expel people yet, they see themselves in Israel. They see their own aspirations in Israel, and they're like, "Whoa, this is a country that we want to, that we want to be like. This is a country that we see as a model for what we want to do in so many different places in our own country. So we love them. We offer them our full support, sir." And that's why so many Hindu nationalists absolutely fucking love and adore Israel. Though in many cases it's not really that deep. They just see Palestinians are majority Muslims. Israel kills Palestinians. Hindu nationalists also want to kill Muslims. Hindu nationalists also hate Muslims. So they're like, we love Israel. In many cases it really is that simple. But for the ones who are smarter, for the ones who are like leading the movement, who love Israel for reasons more beyond just like the base racial hatred, they also see in Israel the same sort of colonial project that they want to be carrying out in their own country. And that makes them very happy. So there's two elements to it, which is just pure hatred of Muslims, very much a hatred of sort of a racialized concept of a Muslim as well, which results in them loving Israel because Israel kills Muslims. And then there's, the sort of the ones who also see it as well as that, or who above, sort of are more, who see more important than that, the fact that Israel is doing sort of, 21st century settler colonialism, which is exactly what they wanted to be doing in their own country. So there's two elements there to the sort of Hindu nationalist support of Israel, which then leads to like random Hindu guys posting on Twitter like, "Hello, I would like to join the IDF. I will take no salary, sir. Please invite me, sir. I love Israel, sir." There are people who see that sort of thing and they just become racist against Indians. Like they use this term like Pajit, which is like a racist term, basically used by the same sorts of people who post like Wojaks of Indians with like smelly lines coming from them that are clearly racist. But there's also the fact that a lot of Indians really are like that. No. Let me rephrase that. Not that they're smelly and gross. Rather, they're really like that in that they really support Israel. And people who are already racist against Indians see that support for Israel, and they decide to use it as an excuse to be racist against them more. So you got to watch out for those sorts of people who use the fact that Hindu nationalism is a disgusting, gross ideology as just an excuse to launder racism against Indians. The same way that like some Nazis use fake support for Palestine as a way to launder anti-Semitism. I'm not sure what the fuck "sir" is. I'm not making an accent. I say "sir" because when Indians type online, they don't say "sir." They say "sir." They don't type with an accent. They write "sar." So I've never seen or heard that, but they definitely say "sir" a lot when they talk to Israelis. And in general, the Indian English dialect is in general extremely overly polite, which I would assume is just a carryover from probably the way that people speak Hindi. Lots of honorifics and stuff, I would guess. I know nothing about it. I'm just making this up as a guess. My point is, like, Indian English basically comes off as incredibly overly polite to the point of being awkward and weird. And that results in very, very funny moments when Indians online try to talk to Israelis. And they're like incredibly deferential and like they treat them like they're nobility or something. But I think it's just sort of the way that Indians speak English. And it doesn't mean they're actually being polite. It doesn't mean they're just being nice. It's just the way that they sort of speak the language. Just the way their dialect developed. Like, yeah, like British English, which is like if you say hello to someone, it's an offense. And then you have Indian Standard English, which is like when you say hello to someone, you have to preface it with like 50 different like honorifics and deferentials to them that tell them how great you think they are. That's another thing. Like, it's funny, like when you talk to Hindu fascists, because they will talk to you like in such an overly nice way, like just so polite, so nice. And then like 2 sentences later, they'll just start telling you about how much all Muslims should die. So like the disconnect between like just the incredibly polite way that they speak English and the things that they're actually saying is really fucking funny sometimes. And really weird. And also, yeah, a lot of very, very much of a disconnect with the way that they treat lower caste people in their own society. Anyway, that's my rant about why Hindu nationalists, not all Indians by any means, but why a significant portion of them who are Hindu nationalists love Israel so much.